meteorologist Ashley Smith here in the First Alert Streaming Center on this Monday. And I want to make sure that this is working first of all. It's been a while since I've done this, so yes. Okay, so we actually have a lot to talk about here on the on our streaming show today. We officially have our 6th name storm system in the Atlantic Ocean, Tropical Storm Francine. We'll be tracking that because it will have an impact here in the tri-state. Excuse me. We also have the wildfire smoke that is impacting our area as well. It's a little bit more indirect, but either way, still something that we will be talking about. And we have heat returning. Not necessarily heat and humidity, but definitely going to be warmer in the coming days. So we're going to be talking about all of that. I want to make sure that I have everything here set up. Let's do this. Okay. So yeah, so welcome to 19 at noon. We are live on Facebook, YouTube, and perhaps a couple of other sources. We've had some technical issues here with our streaming services, I guess you could say. But yes, hopefully you can find us. Obviously, as I know for sure we're on Facebook and YouTube right now, trying to get it out there on other platforms as well, like we have in the past, but sometimes it doesn't happen. So anyways, having some technical issues, but working through them. Our engineering team is really great, but man, they are overloaded right now. So we're getting there slowly but surely. So yes, just want to put that out there. That, yeah, Facebook and YouTube are going to be the best places to catch this until we get some of those kinks kind of worked out. Okay, let's dive right in. So obviously outside right now, beautiful weather. We're seeing kind of that hazy view, and it's not because of heat and humidity like we normally would talk about. It's because of that wildfire smoke that we talked about earlier as well. Also, I guess I didn't mention, but if you have any kind of question, comment, of course, as always, we would like for you to leave it in the comment section. I will be sure to track those as well. Let me see here. Yeah, okay. So nothing on radar locally. We're going to go down to the tropics, to the Gulf specifically, because we are tracking Tropical Storm Francine. So Francine right now still off the coast. Let me actually see if I can pop up the proper radar here. This actually will probably be right. It's just not going to have the right. There we go. Okay. I see what it's doing here. So this is now, just ignore the fact that it goes from Tropical Cyclone 6 to Francine, because it is Francine. Francine is moving, it has sustained winds at 50 miles per hour, moving north-northwest at 5 miles per hour. So moving pretty slowly. But anyways, the center of Francine right now here off coast, actually let me see how far off coast it is. Should have read this ahead of time, but since I had to do the 11, I didn't get as much time to prep for this, which is okay. We'll just read it all together. A lot of times they don't have the... Oh, since this is an intermediate advisory, it's a little bit different. All right, let me see. It gives, yeah, it gives the coordinates rather than. Okay, corrected direction relative to Grand Isle. Okay. Expected to intensify with storm surge and hurricane watches issued for the Louisiana coast. So that will likely happen here today and tomorrow. Tropical storm watch has already been issued east of High Island, Texas to Cameron, Louisiana, and from Grand Isle, Louisiana to the mouth of the Pearl River, including Lake Pontchartrain and Lake Marapus. Okay. So the next advisory, they'll have an intermediate one at 1 o'clock Central Time and a complete advisory at 4. So for us, 2 o'clock and 5 o'clock. So we'll have more information then. Yeah, definitely looking at flooding, high winds. Now, that's not necessarily what's going to happen for us. We're not going to be looking at flooding rains, but we are going to be looking at much needed rain. So that's a good thing. So let's look at the track of that system and when it will arrive here in the tri-state according to the current National Hurricane Center forecast. So it is expected to become a Category 1 hurricane probably sometime tomorrow morning. This is tropical storm before it has the number. Then the filled-in number is a hurricane. So Category 1 hurricane tomorrow morning, staying out to sea just barely. And so what that's going to do is going to allow it to continue to strengthen and feed off of that warm ocean water and then move northeast toward the coast. So likely to make landfall somewhere in Louisiana or Texas. And remember, because of course portions here in Louisiana are below sea level, even a Category 1 hurricane can mean disaster when it does make landfall. So that's going to be a big impact there along parts, of course, east of Houston, near portions of Louisiana. We'll be watching that very closely. And then it kind of curves to the northeast, eventually bringing the remnants toward our region. As early as Friday into Saturday as well, we'll see the potential impacts. We do not expect severe storms as of now. Let me make sure that that has not changed. But last I checked, it did not look like it was going to be severe. Yeah. Let's see here. This is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Yeah. As of now, it does not look like it's going to be severe. I actually think for the most part we're going to get rain, but we could have some. If we do see any thunderstorms, it would be more on Friday when it very first arrives. Kind of those outer bands could be the strongest. Want to also talk about the wildfire smoke. So this is actually originating from the Pacific Northwest, even into parts of Canada, diving south and then kind of moving into the tri-state too. You can follow that path. So that's what you're seeing outside. We even started to see it yesterday into today and tomorrow. You'll notice that smoke probably through the next several days. It's very light. It's very high in the atmosphere. This isn't like, I think it was last summer when we had the wildfire smoke was very intense and it was at the surface level. That's not the case right now. It's just something that's going to block out the sun, kind of filter that sunshine. And you will notice it. There's no doubt about that. But again, it's just not going to have a major impact around our region. Of course, everybody experiencing some sort of drought conditions. We talked about this. Let me see here. Okay. Yeah, so everybody's in some sort of drought, whether it's abnormally dry up to even an extreme drought in portions of Highland County. So parts of our region, many counties are under burn bans. I would just say for everybody, just be very cautious. Even if you're not included in that burn ban, you could still see some impacts from this. Of course, it just kind of depends upon, your yard. Are you watering it? Are you in a shaded area where that grass isn't maybe quite as dry because of the combination of the sunny days and the hot weather and the dry weather as well. But so all those factors do come into play. I would just be very cautious and maybe even hold off on any of that burning until we do get some rain around here, because everybody's in some sort of drought condition, all the way from abnormally dry up to extreme drought in some spots. Temperatures already near 70 degrees. That wildfire smoke, even though, again, it is light and it's very high, it actually does filter out the sunshine. So in some situations, it impacts the temperatures. That was the case yesterday. Actually, let me see what our official high temperature was yesterday, because I know it ended up being kind of cool. I think it was like 70 or 71, 72. But the low was 47. Let's see what our low temperature, which was not a record. We tried to make a run at a record and we didn't do it. Let's see, this morning we got down to 44? No way. Let's see what the record low is for today. $43, bummer. That's probably unofficial. We'll have to see what the official readings say, but it looks like 44.1, so we would have had to be, 43 to tie a record low. But yeah, the record low for today is 43, and it looks like we made it down to 44. So we're already warming up pretty quickly. Of course, with the sun angle this time of year, even though it is, it's not what it was in July, it's still, we're still going to get a lot of heat from that sun. So when you do filter it out, that impacts it with that smoke. But at the same time, when we do have a sunny morning, before that smoke can really start to make an impact, you are going to warm up pretty quickly. So that's why we started at 44. We're already at 70. So a pretty significant warm up already today. 71 in Hamilton and at Lunken, 69 in Batavia, Falmouth at 66 degrees. We'll make it up to 80 degrees today. 81 is the normal high, so still very close to normal. And I might have to adjust that temperature down just a bit. I don't know if we make it up to 80 today. Either way, temperature is still going to be relatively cool considering the time of year. Okay, let's track those remnants of Francine. So Francine doesn't really bring us any kind of rain until Friday. Now, initially we start to see those tropical clouds, and you can really tell them they have that distinct view as kind of those outer bands start to move into the tri-state. As early as Wednesday, probably you'll really notice them Thursday. And then by the time we get to Friday, the rain tries to make its way into the tri-state. You see this here. It holds off until the afternoon hours and then continues in these kind of waves off and on through Friday into Saturday as well. We'll see that potential for the pockets of heavy rain at times. A few thunderstorms will be possible. And then we see rain showers, rain chances, I should say, continuing through the first part of next week. So several chances to see some much needed rain across the region. I don't think this is going to go out far enough. Let me adjust the timing here so that we can see our rainfall totals. Let's go ahead and do further out. Okay, so still not significant according to this model. Let's see which model this is. Okay. So about an inch to an inch and a half. I guess these models kind of agree, GFS and Euro. Between about an inch and a half of rain, taking us all the way through Sunday. So most of that falling Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And again, all of that rain is much needed. So not a bad thing, even though it could impact some of those outdoor events this weekend, which is a bad thing. Overall, we really do need that rain. Okay, so let's take a look at that 7-day forecast. We do make it up near 90 for both Wednesday and Thursday. Let me see. Yeah. And then we do start to see those rain chances as we head into the weekend for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We're going to keep those rain chances in there because of the remnants of Tropical Storm Francine, bringing us that much needed rain, but of course knocking down those temperatures as well, back down into the 80s. Let me catch up on some of these questions. Yeah, it doesn't look like severe weather at this time. Okay. The wind speeds, it could be breezy. I don't think my wind model goes out that far, but let me check it out. I would say count on 25 to 35 mile per hour wind gusts when the remnants do arrive here. All right, let me see how high out this goes. So Friday and Saturday especially will probably be pretty windy. All right, let's do... Let's see. I don't know how far out this is going to... Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, it's not... Okay, so starting Saturday, 20, 25 mile per hour wind gusts. So yeah, so it's not that significant. And the rain's going to be off and on, so it's not a total washout because we kind of get it in these waves. It makes landfall in Louisiana sometime Wednesday, but we don't notice the impacts of rain until Friday. We'll see the clouds starting Thursday. Okay, I think that's all the questions. I think I'm caught up on questions. All right, let me exit out of this. Excuse me. Okay, well. You know, the other interesting thing is there are other storms out there. Let me actually look at this. There are two other, yeah, I guess they're denoted here. They're not, they're both in the moderate. Both of these storms have between actually the one to the east. This one in 7 days has a 60% chance of becoming a storm system, but the one to the west in the next 48 hours has a 60% chance of forming a system, 7 days, 60% chance. So we do have two more storm systems kind of on the heels of Francine. Those could become our next two named storms as well. So the tropics are starting to heat up, that's for sure. You know, it was predicted that it would be a record year, a historic hurricane season, and in some ways it has. We had our earliest Category 5 storm that we've ever had, and we had not a lot, but we had more storms earlier in the season. Then we had this very long lull. I mean, weeks without a named storm. And now we have Francine and likely to have our next two storms as well. Gordon and Helene are the next ones, if they become named. So, I mean, at least around here, now I'm looking at some data off camera. Let me go back to Francine. Like I said, I know that the timing is unfortunate for this rain because it could impact some of those weekend events, those outdoor weekend events specifically. But I don't think it's going to be an all-day rain event. I do think that you'll have time to get in those outdoor events. Unfortunately, you're definitely going to have to be dealing with some rain at times, though. It's not going to be dry the entire duration. Okay. All right. So I'll be back on at 3 and 4 o'clock this afternoon. All of your latest forecasts. We'll talk more about Francine. We'll have that 2 o'clock update, of course, by then with more data on Francine, and then talking about how it will impact us here in the tri-state and talking about our rain chances, of course, the heat. So we do actually, even though it's still relatively quiet, we do actually have a lot to talk about. The wildfire smoke, we have the heat coming our way the next couple of days, and then we have the remnants of Francine. So a lot going on. No, we will not see much of storms. We could have a few rumbles of thunder Friday and Saturday. That's it. No severe weather, nothing like that. The winds are only about 20 to 25 miles per hour. So, yeah, it doesn't look too bad. Okay, I think I'm going to leave it there for now. Thank you to everybody for tuning in. I actually have a project that I'm working on that's due this week, so I also want to go work on that. But anyways, until 3 o'clock, I hope that you guys have a great day. I'll see you back at 3 and 4 o'clock, and then Chief Meteorologist Steve Horstmeyer will be on as well. Have a good one.